His name is Mike also. Here's Mike to take one. Step aside the side.
I went to the
With Troy in student. So she had an earpiece on. And she's talking, dude's talking, he's great, you know, in front of a mic tree, trying to keep his phone while she's right up the stage, talking about
not even 3 feet away. It was like, it was like, she's projecting.
she's a shut, she's quiet a little bit, but I drank it because she was, and it was just like
But it was enough to throw him. You could see him just kind of like, okay. He's not, she was trying to understand me. He was talking to me.
the new colors of yes.
That's even hard.
Sir?
But anyway, yeah, it was just. How did you feel?
Yeah.
Did it make television? Yes. Did the viewer know? No. So it all.
Yeah.
It was no, just a few.
Sometimes you just go, okay. Back to that day. Tomorrow's another one.
Is there any reason why we don't? It's just another reason to go home.
You still go to the
he just didn't have my back. Yeah, they're a little bit. I'd leave her like one shot time on that.
I saw that. I just got all this stuff.
So me, Jared,
Like Under Armour gives like first responses.
Brandon,
I just turned the dumb thing off, and now you want to mic check.
and
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check, check, check.
yeah, I got it.
Hello, hello.
That's what I heard. Like there's some.
What's wrong with you? Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's my mask. It's my mask interfering. Check, check, check.
Hey.
I'm gonna kill the battery for a little bit. Save it.
I'm so excited about talking.
Either what? Not really.
Anyway, how's the house coming along? Yeah.
We've all been there though, where you have high expectations and you're working with people who are like, oh, we should
What about the baby?
smooth as silk, you know? And then it just didn't fall apart. Right.
How was it going?
And at least when we're recording this,
I know, honestly.
same frame of reference. Tried this way. Oh, I got it all set up this way. Why not change the way? I don't think she's free to talk about it. But at the same time, if she's got prepared for, why we gotta change everything 5 minutes before the show starts. So I just like, let's just see how it goes. Just open it. It happens.
Was that planned or was that an accident? So, are you trying to make some stories for what's it point whatever happens happens?
Might be city. Because they have, it might be city. They were at the police officer. Boom. Compassion, restraint. Oh, right. Yeah, we got the chokehold. I'm smiling over here. Right. Oh, no.
Lasted for about a week before I went in. 4 days or so. Yeah, I was right here in my chest. No. I didn't know what. That's how we did it. It just got worse and worse. Years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
You sure it was? Yeah, before that, it didn't got longer. And that used more. It is what it is. Yeah, those are those Is that a good thing? I need that. Yeah. Give me something to go shoot. Give me something.
So we're just putting mics on. Tony has to point out that. So feel free to set up wherever you feel comfortable. Thank you. I'm going kind of morning in the morning, so feel free to set up. We're just doing mics on. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to get everybody in here and start to get them lined up.
Don't you want to stand up with us? Yeah, where we
We're all going to stay here. Come over here.
No. Does that do anything? To help at all?
No, that's like soft. Right, you can bring them up there. All right, please just go ahead and stand up there.
Yes, yes. I know, how's Ken doing? Yeah.
Stand right up here.
Yeah.
So you briefly from a car. Okay. All right.
Frank, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thinking you're better.
You ready to see On my desk. Okay. Yes.
I might have to move some of these so he can put an iPad up. So I don't want to offend anybody.
Mine is the most secure. You might want to leave that one alone.
Do you think that's going to give you enough space?
It's kind of like microphone checking.
Yeah.
Sure. And then we're just going to give her a minute.
Sure.
Come on, Taylor.
I know. It's always Taylor,
It's not
right?
so freezing in here.
Those radio kids. They are screwing up everyone. Yeah, you just make sure you leave some space. Yeah. I know.
Because it's pulling it forward. But the app's in.
All right, I promise I'm done talking about both.
We just took an empty podium live. Yeah. We just took an empty podium live. We couldn't wait 5 minutes. Because it's not, we're not COVID right now. I told you something. Much better television. What's that? Yeah, we're on that. But they just took this.
Start hosting. We don't have any amplified sound.
So we'll start. I know, make the rules.
ready? Well, thank you all for being here today. I'm Britt London, the president of the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association. The past few weeks have been challenging for our city, state, and nation, and we understand the hurt and frustration following the tragic death of George Floyd. As an association, we strongly oppose racism, prejudice, bigotry, and discrimination of any kind. The diversity of our police officers is our greatest strength, and we celebrate that diversity. Our officers and detectives uphold the law regardless of skin color. Before I address the Defund Police movement, I would like to thank the membership of the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association and every single Phoenix police officer out there that has kept our city safe. Thank you for the long hours and days. Thank you for the daily sacrifice you continue to make in the face of wrongful and hurtful accusations. Thank you for keeping peaceful protesters safe each day while managing those who choose to inflict harm and break the law. And I think it needs to be mentioned that while a lot of our men and women are focusing on 1,000 people downtown, the remaining 1.7 million residents of Phoenix are still receiving service. It's an amazing undertaking. We especially want to thank our Blue families that continue to give us the love and support that keep us going to work every day. We also need to thank the many supporters we have in our community. We know that you too will soon make your voices heard. I would like to address the movement to rid our communities of safety and peace of mind. We are seeing an orchestrated campaign across the nation calling for the defunding and disbanding of police departments based on the false and offensive notion that all police, regardless of skin color, are violent and racist. This is just wrong. Phoenix is not Minnesota. We're not Minneapolis. That incident occurred 1,200 miles away. You can't blame everyone for that incident. The false accusations are unfair to the thousands of upstanding police officers that selflessly serve and protect the community from violent crime. This rhetoric is creating more division and distrust within our community, and it needs to stop. PLEA wants to help increase understanding and engagement in our community. We recognize that change begins with understanding. I invite our critics to meet with us, and we can discuss these issues, share these facts, and trade information. We will tell you the truth, no matter how hard it is. We feel that this is the first step to actually making our community relationships stronger and becoming productive. During these weeks of protest, our members have at times felt a lack of support and communication from our city and department leaders. We understand Chief Williams is doing what she can to open dialogue and seek solutions for demands from what we hear in the streets. Keeping the men and women of the Phoenix Police Department informed is important as it removes doubt and rumor and provides a clear understanding of the direction our department is taking. We also want Mayor Gallego to know that our members feel there is no support from City Hall. Our members have not heard a positive statement yet from the mayor's office, and that is drastically affecting morale. Our mission as an organization is to promote the positive role of the police profession, which we do each day by protecting the rights of law enforcement while also focusing on transparency, accountability, and community engagement. We love our community. That's why we wear the uniform each day. We encourage those who want to make meaningful change to work with us and not further divide our community. And with that, I can take a few questions.
Sir, I'd like your thoughts on the state capitol.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Yeah, I'd like your thoughts on a proposal at the state capitol that would call for a database to ferret out the so-called bad apples and keeping them from being hired. What do you think of the idea?
You know, I haven't really read too much into it. We kind of already have several databases within the Phoenix Police Department. So I haven't really studied something for a statewide list. We do have a Brady list in the state, which is not very accurate. So maybe if there was something a little more accurate, that would be nice. But again, I guess I can't fully answer your question.
Well, something else too. There's been, some belief in the culture that calls for just silence on the part of colleagues when one does something bad.
Are you referring to the police culture?
Yes. What is perceived to be the police culture. That is, if a colleague finds a cop doing something bad, just sweep it under the rug, be silent about it. Do you think perhaps there should be something in policy that would stop those behaviors?
Maybe so. And again, I guess I should explain. I don't speak for the Phoenix Police Department. I do speak for the men and women that work there. And again, we do want to assist with transparency. But, some of these notions, there's a lot of myths that, a lot of what you say, or you said, it's not particular to police departments, anything like that. We have some very stringent rules right now in operations orders. You see any misconduct, you are to report it, you are to intervene. So the Phoenix Police Department already has that. Can it be improved upon? I'm not sure.
On the issue of immunity for police officers, and I know yesterday President Trump's secretary said that that's definitely off the table as far as negotiating with the Democrats on their proposal. What is your take on immunity for officers, or taking back a little bit of that immunity from those officers who are deemed to misconduct and have a trajectory of misconduct over years?
So, and again, I can only give you an answer with, almost 25 years of being a Phoenix police officer and how we do business here. The immunity, I think that's, number one, you kind of have to define that term. Some of these investigations we go through are horrendous for nothing. We have a scale of discipline that would probably make your head spin. I think our department does a pretty good job of investigating, handing out discipline, but I think where we are unique is that, take a use of force. I know somebody's going to ask this question. A use of force, it gets looked at by not only the Phoenix Police Department, but by the county attorney, everybody else, and it is gone over with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that we acted in the correct way according to the law. There's not a lot of immunity there already. I think when you say that word, people think that we're immune from a lot that others aren't, where that's really not true. I think we get looked at harder than anyone else.
I know Representative Bowling said in his statements to Governor Ducey that he'd like to see the investigation of police officers handled by a prosecutor's office outside of the jurisdiction where that police department is at, for transparency purposes. Because the police departments work so hand in hand with the prosecutor's office. What's your take on that, bringing in an outside prosecutor to investigate and allow for a little bit more of that transparency to come forward?
I really haven't given a thought, but I don't see where it would really make that much of a difference. I mean, if a prosecutor is a good prosecutor just because they don't live in the county where it occurred, I would think the outcome would be the same. An investigation should be done considering all the facts and chasing down leads, and it should be the same for an attorney that's here in Maricopa County or one that's in Pinal County.
So then are you saying that there's no issue with PLEA being as part of the negotiating table, bringing that up as saying...
We're not afraid to get looked at. Yeah, make no mistake, we're not afraid to get looked at, not at all.
So Britt, as all these protests have gone on, have you at any point thought that the peaceful protesters' criticism of police culture at any point was valid? I mean, were there points where...
Can you give me a specific?
Yeah, I mean, was there any point where you looked at and thought maybe they have a point about that?
Like, that's right, no, not really, because I'm not sure, I'm hearing a lot of different things out there. It seems like it began over a use of force, and then it has quickly become a race issue. Are there times where force needs to be looked at because it might have gone beyond what it should have been? Sure, that happens. That happens across the nation, across the world, I'm sure. But I just find it a little strange that we have offered here at PLEA before to sit down and talk to some of these leaders and really talk about the issues. We're not going to give you the government answer. You know, I don't have to answer to a city manager or a mayor. And if we have the information, I think that those hard conversations, you know, telling the truth why something happened, and if we're allowed to talk about it and say that, you know, a case has been adjudicated, I think that would really help, instead of, you know, going out there calling for answers and not really getting those answers. But you know, there's got to be, I think there's validity in people's feelings for what they know and what they believe. Is it always correct? No.
Here, we got time for one more.
So speaking of people's feelings, we spoke with various minority groups even before we came out here. Their response is they are just darn right afraid for their lives. They say the tax dollars that they're spending, funding police departments, and then purchasing equipment is turned around and being used against them, predominantly more than people who aren't brown and black. What is your response to that?
I don't know. Why? Do they tell you why that is? We don't go out there and hunt people that are brown and black. So, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand
study
that.
After study shows that the disparity is more than often it's black and brown people who are arrested more and then put in jail more. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, is that a social thing? You know, I don't know. And I'm not trying to skirt the issue, but you know, I need to see some facts. People say that. I mean, show me the numbers. Yeah, it happens. But you know, when cops are working in an area that you know, the demographic is whatever it is, and the crime is high, well, yeah, it makes sense, right? You know, you need a fully funded police department to make it better. You take away from the tools we have, and it just kind of makes it worse. You know, transparency costs a lot of money. I said this the other day. Body cameras, retention, redaction of that information cost a lot of money, and it assists in transparency, correct? So you know, you don't want to take away from that.
The Defund the Police movement is majorly being led by young people, young activist groups. Has there been an intent to meet with them, talk to them? Will that opportunity? You know,
I'm kind of doing that right now. I would love to do it. I have some children that are of that age and have their own opinions too. And I think that is what needs to be done. You know, I don't want to argue with anyone. We would like to talk to them and tell them, you know, give them a police officer's perspective. But I think a lot of what our membership is feeling now is that it wouldn't matter. You know, you can throw facts out there, you can throw numbers, you can try to be nice and sit down, and it doesn't matter because this is bigger than just a police brutality issue or a racial issue. I think a lot of people are seeing this as a movement. And you know, I haven't really looked into everything going on in Seattle, but I mean, come on, do we want that here in Phoenix? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So then what's the concern of the main, what's the
This
main
last one,
concern
guys, sorry,
of-
last one.
What is the main concern of budget cuts? If budget cuts do happen as a result of this, what is it that your officers are feeling will be cut first? What is up on the chopping block and at stake?
So I don't know. I don't know what would be on because we never got to that point. But I can guess. You know, equipment is a big deal. Hiring. I know that the city put out numbers that we have like 3,024 officers. That is incorrect. That number counts people in the academy, officers in training. We have about 2,940. Frank Marino, my stats guy, which is very low. You've heard the mayor say we're the fastest growing city in the nation. Well, you need to keep up with that. Infrastructure is important. Protection for people is important, and we're at about 1.7 officers per 1,000 people, where we should be around 2.5 or so. I'd love to see 4,500 officers here now, but that's still not enough. But you know, that's not popular to talk about, is it?
All right,
Safety.
this is the last one.
Sorry.
We gotta wrap it up. You're welcome.
Does the carotid control technique going away, what's your thought on that?
You know, as I've said, it's kind of, we feel that it's a tool that's been taken away. It is a step that is in between intermediate tactics and deadly force. And what we heard from the membership is, well, you know, what do I do now? You know, intermediate force is punches, kicks, elbows, knees, impact weapons. So, you know, if I'm punching a guy and it's not working, do I just continue punching him, or now do I have to pull my gun and kill him? That's the concern we've heard from membership.
All right, thanks everybody.
And thank you before Lorna gets mad at me. Thank you all for showing
Thanks,
up.
everyone.
Sorry.
Thanks, everybody who showed up. Appreciate it.
I'm hoping like every next